Hey TVs, it's Psychic Bob. Well, I've been sitting here today meditating on the mysteries of the Tao, the great cosmic force. This is one of my old pendants I found in one of my jewelry boxes. Isn't that cool? It's made of abalone shell, and it's got the yin and the yang. Let's see if I can see that. There it is. Can you guys see that? Isn't that cool? It's a beautiful pendant. And I just love it because I think that Taoism and Wicca actually share a lot in common. And I'll probably have to do a whole video on that. But just for today, just know that I've been meditating on the mystery of the Tao. And I've been reading this book. This is my little pocket book of the Dao de Jing. This is the sacred text of Taoism. And I thought I'd read to you a little passage today from the Dao de Jing. This is stanza number 14. There are like, I don't know how many, like 80 some stanzas in this book. And this was written by the mystic Lao Tzu, whose name means venerable sage or wise master. He was a Taoist mystic, and now they say he's an immortal, and I believe he is. I'm going to read to you this chapter there. Just listen to this, kind of neat. Look at it, and you cannot see it. Its name is formless. Listen to it, but you cannot hear it. Its name is soundless. Grasp it, but you cannot get at it. Its name is incorporeal. These three attributes are unfathomable. Therefore, they fuse into one. Its upper side is not bright. Its underside is not dim. Continually the unnameable moves on until it returns beyond the realm of things. We call it the formless form, the imageless image. We call it the indefinable and unimaginable. Confront it, and you do not see its face. Follow it, and you do not see its back. Yet equipped with the timeless Tao, you can harness present realities. To know the origins is initiation into the Tao. Isn't that wonderful? That's the word Tao. It's spelled T-A-O, but it's pronounced like a D, Tao. And the image, as I showed you on this pendant, the yin-yang, is considered kind of a form, a symbol that represents the energy of the Tao, the cosmic interplay of light and dark, good and bad, male and female. All of that's embodied. See that little circle with the black and white? That's called the Tao symbol. The yin-yang, the tai chi. Anyways, kind of neat, you know? Well, I'm glad you guys are here today, you know. Psychic Bob's had a really intense week. It's been a lot of work. I'm still healing, you know. I've heard it takes about a month to get over this tick bite. I'm doing really well, but, you know, occasionally I get a little tired. So today what we're going to do is we're just going to have a class today. I'm going to keep it kind of short. We're not going to have a channeling. I'm physically not up to that. And I'm really trying to honor my body. You know, as I've told you guys, I want to be here for the long time, not just a short time. So I'm going to balance my energies. But I did want to spend some time with you today. This week, I have been exploring channeling art. And I tried to channel Jackson Pollock. Maybe you know him. He was a famous artist. He did a lot of splatter paintings. He was big in the 1940s, 1950s. He was very cutting edge at his time. In fact, I'll put up a picture of the artist Jackson Pollock here for you. Take a look at this. So that's a picture of Jackson Pollock, and you can see his work, some of his works I showed you. Those were his style of paintings. Well, anyways, he was very cutting edge because he kind of came along at a time when it was radical not to paint form. He painted all over. Well, anyways, I decided to try to channel him because I really believe that creating art is an act of channeling and that all people who want to channel can do it. And so I asked the spirit world to let Jackson Pollock channel through me. And I think that I had a little bit of success. I did just a small painting, but I've been wanting to show it to you guys. So check this out. This is my newest creation. It is my channeled work of Jackson Pollock. I just call it black on white, #1. You guys like that? What do you think of that? Is that kind of mystical? Can you feel the energy in the painting? Anyways, I want to come here and share with you because that was kind of my spiritual channeling experience this week. Because I channeled Jackson Pollock. I asked his spirit to paint through me. I think we created something kind of wild. So I want to share that with you today. I'm going to be doing more of these channeled paintings soon, and we'll have that probably like on a Wiccan Wednesday. Eventually what I'm going to do is giant canvases, like, 50 by 50 size canvases, so I can hang them in my house. Where I live, I have large wall expanses, so I can handle like, 80 by 80 size canvases, and they don't look too big or too small on the wall. So anyways, that was an experiment, and I really feel like his power came through me. So that's kind of neat. Anyways, it's Saturday, and that means it's our Spiritualist class time. And we've been going through a book by Sylvia Browne called The Mystical Traveler. And right now we're in a chapter on the 47 life themes. Now, I actually think there are more than 47, but Sylvia classifies them as 47, so we're going to go with her interpretation. But I think this is very important because a lot of you have written to me saying, what is my purpose? What am I here to do? Some of you have said, I feel like I'm supposed to be a mystical traveler. How does that fit in with what I'm supposed to be doing or have done in the past? And these are very important questions because when we come into life, we choose a life theme or multiple life themes sometimes. And knowing what your life theme is really critical to having success in life. For example, my life themes, I have a communicator life theme and a psychic life theme. Now, for a lot of years, I tried to work in the corporate world, and I was a technical writer. A lot of people don't know that. I worked for an engineering company and did technical writing. I also have done database management in my life, did a lot of different things. But none of my previous works honored my life themes. And I always kept saying, why am I not getting ahead in life? Why am I always struggling? And it wasn't until I understood Sylvia's teaching about life themes that I realized that I was not honoring my life themes. And interestingly, through a teacher who trained me in the spiritual church, she helped me uncover my psychic life theme and my communicator. And so she said if I would honor those life themes, I would be successful. And here today, because I've decided to honor my life themes, I'm here with you today, now a full-time professional psychic. For those of you who are new here, you may not know I am a full-time psychic. I have an office and a staff, and I do readings literally every day, all day long, 7 days a week, well, 6 days. I usually take Monday off. But, it's when I embraced my life themes, my life got a lot better and things improved. So I bring this to you today because I want you to think about your life themes. Now, if you haven't gotten this book, don't worry, we're going to go through it. But if you can, try to pick up a copy. I think it'll help you enjoy the class more. Mystical Traveler by Sylvia Browne. Well, we're going to continue. We're on page 18 today. And I got to put on my reading glasses here. And we're going to continue on with our life themes, okay? We're up to point number 26, life theme 26, which is passivity. So we'll start here. 26, passivity. Surprisingly, entities with the passivity theme are actually active, but about nothing. Although they'll take stands on issues at times, it's always in a nonviolent manner. Of course, any extreme is hurtful to the individual, but some tension may be needed in order to bring about the perfection of the soul. Now, I have to pause here and comment because I have met people who have a passivity life theme, and it's funny because you think these people, I think like sometimes when I meet them, a pet rock has more enthusiasm and energy about life than a passivity theme. And so if you're somebody and you feel like you have a passivity theme, I think this is also a sign that, you've taken that role in order to observe. See, the good side of passivity theme is that they observe. A lot of passivity theme people really have insight because they take time to observe. However, you also want to kind of think of that as like you've also chosen that to overcome it. So you want to take a more active role in life. And that way you'll balance the observer and the participator. So anyways, that's just my thoughts on passivity. Interesting. Theme number 27, patience. Boy, now that's a tough theme. The patience theme is clearly, this is what she says, the patience theme is clearly one of the most difficult paths to perfection, as those with it seem to desire a more rapid attainment than entities with less challenging themes. Often they carry great amounts of guilt when they feel that they have strayed from their goal, resulting in their impatience. This attitude can lead to self-abasement and suppressed anger. These entities must be lenient with themselves, for it is difficult enough living through the circumstances that they have chosen in order to express this theme. I tell you, there are times when I wonder if I had a patience theme, because it's like, do you ever have those times in life where it's like, no matter what you do, nothing goes on schedule, and you have to wait till everybody else's drama gets sorted? That's definitely a patience theme. If not a full theme, it's definitely a patience energy in action. And so for those of you who have patience themes, don't be upset that you struggle. You're actually some of the most advanced souls. You really are. Okay. All right, point number 28, pawn. Whether the means are negative or positive, pawns trigger something of great magnitude into being. The biblical Judas is a classic example of this theme. We can't evolve towards universal perfection without the pawn, but those entities who select this theme should preserve their dignity by only picking worthy causes. Now, let's pause there for a second, because, it's interesting she talks about the Judas in the Bible. Judas was the person who betrayed Christ. He took 30, shillings or 30 pieces of silver to give Jesus over to the Roman guards. And a lot of people said, oh, Judas is evil, he's condemned to hell. But really, if you study the biblical account, Jesus foretold that he would be betrayed, and that this must, in a sense, come for his mission to be fulfilled. So, I've always been one to say, I don't think Judas was necessarily the bad guy that we make him out to be. I mean, certainly he did some bad things, but if we look at the bigger scope, it's like he played a role that was necessary. Now, I'm not saying go out and betray people and think, well, I'm a pawn, I can betray people. But what I'm saying is sometimes that theme has a bigger purpose than what is apparent. So I've always been one to say I think Judas actually made it to heaven. By the way, I don't want you to confuse Judas with Saint Jude. Now, there was an apostle named Saint Jude, very powerful mystical spirit guide and intercessor. Judas is different. Judas is not Saint Jude, but people confuse them sometimes. Okay, next point, number 29, peacemaker. Now, this is interesting. Peacemaker. These entities are not as tranquil as their name implies. Peacemakers are actually pushy in their desire for and the pursuit of peace. They work endlessly to stop violence and war, addressing a larger audience than those who've opted for harmony as a theme. And their goal of peace far exceeds an allegiance to one particular group or country. This is true. I've actually met people that are peacemakers. And, a lot of people have this kind of idea that if you're a peacemaker, you're all lovey-dovey and light and airy-hearted. No, the real peacemakers are very much in a leadership role, and sometimes they can be downright aggressive. But their goal is to break down barriers to help people get beyond their blocks so that there can be communication. I think peacemakers have a very tough role. You know, when I look back at history, now some of you may not remember this, you're probably younger, but I grew up during the Ford years, President Ford, Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford. And I remember when Jimmy Carter negotiated the peace accords between Egypt and Israel. You have to understand at that time, that was shocking. Israel and Egypt were bitter enemies, thousands of years of enemyship. And Jimmy Carter thought there's got to be a better way. Now, whether you like Jimmy Carter or not, I'm not here to debate his whole presidency. But I'm here to say that he was one of the people who did have a peacemaker role, as well as I do believe Anwar Sadat did and Menachem Begin. Because I believe that Begin and Sadat each wanted peace. And what's interesting, what came out of those discussions is they each found the middle ground of like, we're people, we don't want to make each other suffer. And they realized, they talked about their families. I read about this extensively. It's quite fascinating. But Jimmy Carter got them to see the human element of each nation and each people. And that is what brokered the peace accords. Now, of course, today, looking at the Middle East, it makes me sad to see what's happened with all of that. But, you know, we'll see more peacemakers arise. And I think Jimmy Carter is a great example of the peacemaker thing. All right, point number 31, perfectionist. We should all want things clean and orderly in our lives. Yet entities with this theme can go that extra step and be very innovative at work, thus saving time and money. Perfectionists also tend to be harder on themselves than anyone else. They demand that they do everything just right with no opening for sloppiness. They believe that if you're going to do something, then you should do it right. If it gets to the point that it becomes an obsessive or compulsive problem, then this theme has to be tempered. Perfectionists may have to force themselves to leave their work or responsibilities and kick back for a time to recoup their energy. You know, this is an interesting thing. When I worked in the corporate world, I'm not going to name names, but I met people that had this perfectionist role, and I saw it in both sides. There was one lady I know, she was an assistant, private assistant to an executive. This lady had every I dotted, every T crossed. She was an amazing person because she could coordinate this executive schedule, all these meetings, events. She coordinated all the staff. She never messed up, and she was perfect. And everybody was in awe of her. And on top of that, she was a really great and friendly and a nice person. It was not an act. And so she had a perfectionist theme, but she mastered it in a way that made everybody's life better. That's the good side of perfectionist. Unfortunately, many of us encounter the perfectionist theme in its negative aspect, where people become obsessive, compulsive. You know, I knew somebody once, literally, like they would have, like, for example, their desk. And let's say they would set their glasses on their desk, and every day they'd set it the exact way. And if somebody leaned on their desk a lot, and even the glasses moved just that much, it was like the end of their world. They'd flip out, and they'd have to be obsessive. And they, in fact, would measure where things were aligned. It was really crazy. But see, that's the perfectionist theme in a negative aspect. So if you're somebody who struggles with feeling a little obsessive or compulsive, understand that you can kick back and relax, and things will still go okay for you. Because when you have a perfectionist theme, one of the good sides is that things tend to fall in place. And perfectionists, what they'll realize is they don't have to kill themselves and kill everybody else to make it happen. You have a natural talent for organization and things running smoothly. But you have to recognize that talent, and then you're free from the obsessive side of that theme. So I think that's very interesting. All right, we're going to do one more here. Point number 31, performance. Those with the performance theme find it highly rewarding, but frequently exhausting. These entities are true party animals. Some will go into actual entertainment careers, but others will simply be content to entertain in their homes and offices. The challenge here is for those with this theme to combat burnout by looking within, thus acquiring the ability to nourish and entertain themselves. Now, as I've told you, I can't give names, but I've read for a number of people in Hollywood. I've met a lot of celebrities over the years as a psychic. And it's very interesting because those that have a performance theme, especially the stars, rise to the top. There is that thing of star quality. And I think that the secret of star quality is that they have the performance theme. And a performance theme allows people just to shine wherever they are. You can put them in a backyard barbecue and they'll entertain the whole crowd, Or you can put them in the movies and they'll make, Oscar-winning films. Performance theme people drive themselves to always be on top. And sometimes, as you know, it becomes obsessive and a form of self-destruction. So if you're somebody who's a performer or interested in that, remember that your power is a gift. It's channeled from the spirit world. And so whenever you perform, stop, look within, feel the light, and then go into your action, whatever it is. And if you're channeling, you'll handle that performance theme without a lot of stress. So anyways, we're going to stop there today. I just wanted to touch in on some more of these. And as I said, life themes are important because when you understand your life theme, it makes life a lot easier. So many people call me for private readings, and a lot of times I'll give them their life theme. And what's very interesting is I get the response. People say, "Oh, God, I know you're absolutely right." And I'll say, "But when I look at your life, I don't see you exhibiting this life theme, even though you have." And they always say to me, "You're right, Bob, I haven't been doing that." And I say to them, change your life. Embrace your life theme. Take that on and use it and watch how your life changes. See, once I realized that I really had a psychic life theme and a communicator, I left the corporate world. And people thought, a lot of my friends thought I was crazy. They said, "You're going to be a psychic? What? You won't last 5 minutes." But see, the spirit world told me I would because I came here for that purpose. And so, when I get to be here at YouTube, it's really exercising both of my life things because I'm getting to serve as a psychic to all of you. And I'm communicating. I'm communicating my ideas, my thoughts, my experiences. So I encourage you, think about some of these life themes. Maybe some of these today apply to some of you. And if you say, "Bob, none of those are my life themes," that's okay. We got more to go through. We got up to 47. So we're only up to number, what is it? We're up to number 31. So we've got a lot more to go through, okay? So, keep it here. By the way, guys, just to remind you, a lot of you have been writing saying, "Bob, I heard you had a book out or something." Yes, I have a number of books that are published, and you can get these over at my website. The link will be in the info box below this video. My latest book, Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom, that's talks about my 20 years of experience as a Wiccan priest. We've also got Ouija's Mysteries, the Spirit Board Seances, about my work with the Ouija board. And, of course, my favorite, Messages from Rose, about my channeling work with my spirit guide, Rose. So these, and I have others, these are just a few I had here on my desk, are available over at my website. Now, I am working on another book I hope to get out by the autumn, by September. We'll see if that works. But we're going to have a book on astrology coming as well. So we'll have more for you guys to read if you want to work on your spiritual lives. So in the meantime, if you have time also, I encourage you to pop over to Amazon or eBay or your local bookseller and see if you can get a copy of Sylvia Browne's Mystical Traveler. After we get through the life themes, we're going to get back into more about, how to understand the calling of a mystical traveler, what that means, and how to embrace it. So we got a lot more that we're going to be covering. So definitely keep it here. Guys, as I said, I'm a little tired this week. I've been working a lot, so we're not having the channeling. But I'm glad you're here for the seance. By the way, I'll give you one more glance at my painting here. This is my channeled work, for those of you who didn't see the beginning. But I channeled Jackson Pollock, and this was the creation. Do you guys like this? What do you think? I kind of think it's kind of cool. Anyways, there you go. There's my latest channel artworks. And I think this Wednesday, we may have some more about painting and art, some mystical arts to connect with Wiccan spirituality. So definitely be here. You guys are best. I love you. I send my blessings to you. Listen, help me out. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends. Hit subscribe. Be part of our channel. We'd love you to be here. And if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, please give me a call. 571-483-2112 is my phone number. And we'll get you on. You know, private reading with me, it's a full hour. You and me one-on-one. We cover everything. Past, present, future issues, past lives. I bring over spirit guides. We talk about your life themes. We talk about, you know, your karmic connections. We talk about all that. I answer all your questions. We cover a lot of stuff. So I think you'll enjoy it. And those of you who've had readings with me, you can tell people you get a lot for the hour. So you guys are best. I love you. Blessings to all of you. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Sunday. What's Sunday? Oh, the Witching Hour. We're going to be live for a broadcast with the Witching Hour. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 1 a.m. London time, 2 a.m. Paris and Bonn time. So definitely check us out. We'll see you tomorrow for the Witching Hour. Thanks for being here, and until tomorrow, may you always blessed be.